Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the Grand Strand. A perfect place to kick back, relax, and just take it easy. Myrtle Beach Speedway, however, will raise your heartbeat with the drop of the green. The NASCAR Whelen Modifieds have traveled south to Myrtle Beach Speedway to raise the curtain on their 2018 season. Doug Kobe is back looking for title number 6, but there are others looking to grab the glory, like Justin Bonsignor, who finished third in the points last year, and North Carolina Modified standout Burt Myers. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Myrtle Beach Speedway. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Ray Evernham as we get set to kick off the 2018 season. Derek Prenticello will be joining us in just a few minutes. Ray, this is a great racetrack in the Southeast to start the year off.
It really is a tough track, a little bit harder to drive than it looks. Can't wait to see these modifieds get going.
Well, if you're thinking about planning a vacation here to Myrtle Beach, here's where it's located, about 72 miles southeast of another great racetrack, Darlington. Here's a look at how the points wrapped up last year. It was a great battle.
It really was. Doug Kobe coming up on top, again looking for his 6th championship. 27 cars this weekend, Ralph. Cars from the north and south. Great field of race cars.
Let's introduce you to the third member of our broadcast crew for the season. Here's Derek Prenticello to help kick things off.
Ralph, Ray, welcome to Myrtle Beach Speedway. And it's the second time the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour is going to start their season off here at the South Carolina Oval. And this track is known for chewing up tires. So you've got to be careful tonight, because look at this surface. You've got rocks that pop up about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch off the ground here. They chew up tires. This track's a rough old girl. So you have to be really light on the throttle. You've got to drive it with a soft pedal, like there's an eggshell underneath it. Plus, you have to know when to pit for tires. So pit procedures tonight will be 4 tires. You can only change 1 tire at a time. 3 crew members are allowed to go over the wall. Now, you cannot change tires and gas the car at the same time, but you can put a new tire on any 4 corners of the car per stop.
Should make for some interesting strategy down on pit road.
Yeah, great information there, Derek. Thank you very much.
Here's a look at where the tour is headed. And of course, you'll see a lot of those races right here on NBCSN. Well, Ray, they kicked off the season here last year, as well as a late afternoon, early evening start. Rob Summers on the pole.
Yeah, as you see, but down in traffic on a late race restart. Oh, there goes the 11 car turned around.
Yep, that's Andy Seiss smoking him up as he loops it out. But then they have this melee here. Next to last restart of the night, took out a bunch of cars.
Yeah, some hard contact right there.
In the end, Timmy Solomino held off Summers to the checkers and took one of his 5 wins last year here in this season opener. A lot of famous alumni have competed in the Whelen Modified Tour here at this very racetrack. Let's go back downstairs. Here's Derek Prenticello with another story before we drop the green.
Ralph, Ray, Matt Hirschman puts the number 60 on the pole this afternoon here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Kind of tough to do on a track that chews up tires, and that's going to be my next question. How do you go fast on a track this rough and still manage to save tires?
You don't for long, but it's the same for everybody. So it's really a unique place. It's the most boring track to ever drive, but the most fun to ever race at, just because there's going to be so much passing. I know I'm going to get passed, but I'm going to do a lot of passing myself. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's fun. It's a lot of strategy. I like that, and it's going to be a tough race to win, just because there's no one thing that set strategy that's going to win this race.
Last year you came down here for an open competition event. You won that. What were some of the things that you learned from that race that you were going to use here today?
Yeah, we got a couple wins here. I know the track well. I feel like I know how to drive it. I know what to expect. So, but this is the second year for this race, so a lot of guys are back again for their second time. So they've learned a lot too. But definitely, I'm going to use my experience here to help me.
Well, Matt Hirschman has a little bit of experience here. He also has a win to his credit, and he's going to use that to get him to victory lane tonight.
Interesting comment. Boring racetrack, but fun to race on.
Yeah, you know, Matt is one of the guys that is really, really good when it comes down to tire strategy and saving tires. One of the smoothest drivers on the circuit. So I don't think he's telling us everything that he actually did learn there.
Probably not. We'll see how many cards he keeps up his sleeve when we drop the green here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Right after this on NBCSN. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach Speedway. Pace car is out in front of the field. We'll be tossing the green here in just a minute. So let's get a pre-race report from Derek Pernisiglia.
Our Who to Watch driver will be that black number 1 starting in the 13th spot tonight. That's Mr. Madhouse, Burt Myers himself. He's driving for Eddie Harvey this weekend. He finished 10th in this race last year. Burt Myers is a 2-time NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour champion, and he's won open competition modified events at this racetrack in the past. He'll definitely be one to watch when we go green.
Mr. Madhouse, of course, talking about Bowman Gray Stadium.
Yeah, and he teamed up with Eddie Harvey this year. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Both those guys have won the championships. Eddie as an owner and certainly Burt as a driver. But what I'm really going to be watching this afternoon is exactly what I thank Derek for. This track is tricky and it wears tires out. That tire strategy is going to keep me on my seat all day long, Ralph, because the fastest car may not be the guy that shuffled to the front after some of those pit stops today.
Here's a look at your starting field. There's Matt Hirschman right on the front row. Rob Summers, who started on the front row last year, back outside row 2.
Right, and we saw Jimmy Blewett there in the 6th car, normally driven by Ryan Preece, who's out in California competing today.
And Burt Myers inside of row 7, maybe a little further back than we thought he might be with qualifying.
Some of the veterans, Jamie Tomeno in the back there in the 99.
And here we go, getting ready to go green from Myrtle Beach, and the season is off and racing.
Everybody behaves themselves, getting down into 1. You can see this is going to be a little bit tire management. They're not going to be as hard on the brakes or as hard on the throttle. Boy, that inside wall getting into 1 there, Ralph, though, I'm going to tell you, that makes it difficult. If anything happens up in front of you, you're going down in there blind.
Down the back stretch we go with Hirschman out front. There's Summers in the 64. Looks like the 51 of Justin Bonsignor right behind him. Boy, Hirschman really stretching the legs pretty early here.
Yeah, when you're out front like that, you can set a pretty good rhythm and keep your momentum up, not on the brake and on and off the gas as much, but John McKennedy right there behind him, and Tommy Baldwin's car in the 7. They were really, really fast down in New Smyrna during the World Series, so I'm going to keep a close eye on that team as well. They showed some real speed at New Smyrna Speedway this year.
There's the 36 car, Dave Sapienza, up into this group, and also the reigning champion, Doug Kobe, in the 2. A couple cars back behind Solomito. Hirschman, McKennedy, Bonsignor, Summers, Bonsignor in your top 5, and the reigning champ sits in 9th.
Bonsignor, we've got a new Bonsignor on the scene this year. Kyle came on last year, showed some strength, and he's right up in the mix of things. Kyle is certainly the cousin of Justin, who we really had watched give a lot of excitement last year.
Love this shot, Ray. That's Timmy Solomito wheeling the car.
It really does, and that gives you a feeling of what it looks like inside of one of those modifieds. You're staring right straight at your air cleaner, carburetor, something you're normally used to seeing the hood, and as you watch, it gets down in the corner. You see that right front wheel pop up there? I used to love to be able to watch that thing. You could tell by the color whether you were too tight or not. Maybe if I wouldn't have been watching that right front tire so much, I wouldn't hit so many things, Ralph. Who knows?
Well, there's the first caution of the day and of the season.
Right rear flat there.
Yeah. Calvin Carroll towed down from New Jersey to come racing here, and a little frustrated early on.
Yeah, no damage. Going to have to watch his pit road speed there, though. 3 men allowed over the wall to change this. I think that's a great thing. These guys are not professional. The less people on pit road, the less chance there is of somebody getting hurt.
So Hirschman continues to lead early on here at Myrtle Beach as the season is just beginning. Getting ready to go back to green. Hirschman's on the inside. Bonsignor in the 51. Justin's going to line that Phoenix Communications machine up on the outside.
These double foul restarts always make it exciting in an open wheel car. We'll see if Bonsignor mounts a charge here on the outside, or if he just kind of continues to save his tire. Backs off and pulls in behind the 60 of Matt Hirschman there. Wants to follow him in rhythm. Great to see Matt in that black number 60. That's the family number. Raced against his dad in that color car with that number on it for many years.
Kobe's taking advantage of the restart, Ray. He's hanging on the outside in the 2, right behind Summers, but he gained a couple of spots there.
Yeah, Doug Kobe, certainly, you know, one of the veterans for as young as he is in this sport, did a great job last year, even though he only won victory lane one time, didn't win the championship. And really, this is a guy that's putting numbers together that'll be knocking on the door and be nominated at the NASCAR Hall of Fame soon.
No doubt about it. He'll be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer. Somebody else I know is a first-time ballot Hall of Famer.
Jeff Gordon, brother. I wasn't first time, but it was really neat to get in, Ralph. I can tell you that certainly was one of the greatest nights of my career when that happened in January.
Should have been first time. Anyway, here we go. Watching the number 7 there, John McKennedy, wheeling Tommy Baldwin's car outside of Solomito.
And that 7 New York. Normally see that thing in black. A little different to see it in red.
See if the new racy red color scheme produces some more victories for that crew this year.
Bonsignor putting a little bit of heat on the back of Matt Hirschman right now. We'll see if Hirschman's saving his tires or Bonsignor looking to the outside right there.
I like the fact that Kobe was 9th just before that restart. Takes the green on the restart. He's already up to fit. That's good hustle right there. Let's introduce you to one of the new stars of NASCAR modified racing.
This year, you know, the plan's pretty much what it's been. Last couple of years, we've been going for the championship on the Whelen Modified Tour, and this year we're going to compete for it again here with Starrett Tools on board. We're really excited, and I think we'll have a good shot at it. We had a great year last year. We won the most poles, and we had 5 victories on the season. So, you know, we just got to be a little bit more consistent this year, finish those races that we didn't finish last year, and I think we'll have a really good shot at it. This track's really difficult. You're not only racing your competition, you're racing the racetrack. The tires wear out really, really fast, and it's tough to see the guy in front of you driving away and running really hard, and you know you have to save and conserve. Basically, you just can't take the bait, and you got to just kind of race your race and be there at the end. I'm Timmy Solomito, and that's your NASCAR Next Gen profile.
5 wins, including the inaugural race right here at Myrtle Beach last year. 10 top 5s, 11 top 10s, and lost the championship by just 6 points to Doug Kobe. He is certainly an up-and-coming superstar in this tour.
Oh, yeah, this kid is going to be a NASCAR modified champion, maybe this year, but if not, it's going to happen. He gets better and better every year, and if you listen to him talk, he's learning more about driving these race cars. Certainly a challenger. You know that Doug Kobe has got his eye on this kid. Leaving a lot of black marks on that gray, Ralph. That means the rubber's coming off your tire and going on the racetrack. And, you know, there's only about 30 seconds of rubber on those tires. And I used to tell the guys, the drivers that I worked at, and particularly a young guy from Indiana, hey, look, you know, if you want to use that up early, you're not going to have it late. So every time that you step on that throttle too hard and spin that tire, it takes some of that life out of it. And that's exactly what those guys are working on. As a crew chief, we used to call it make-believe there's an egg under the throttle.
Burt Myers is in that black and yellow, number 1. He's pulled up behind McKennedy. Chase Dowling is in this group as well. He sits in 11th, just outside the top 10.
You know, again, talking about Burt and Eddie Harvey, you know, Burt now being able to concentrate possibly a little bit more on his driving is going to make him a little bit more of a force week in and week out. Used to be he had to take care of the car, take care of driving. Now working with Eddie Harvey, I really think these guys are going to win a lot of races and could challenge for some of these North wins here.
Eddie owns that race car and spins the wrenches as the crew chief on it as well. And the one thing I've noticed, Ray, is that Burt is way down on the bottom of the racetrack and staying tight to that white line.
Yeah, you would think that would have a tendency to wear your tires out, but his car seems to be working really good there. And I would bet that these guys have a strategy of pitting probably early and often. You're allowed 4 tires. We've got a caution. Let's see.
Past the first third of the race, scheduled for 115. You see the car down on the inside of the racetrack there. That's the 82 machine of Woody Pickat.
Woody got a little right rear damage there. Nerf bar hanging off. Doesn't seem to want to go forward.
Looks like a new paint scheme for Woody this year. Used to seeing him in the purple colors. And she rolls back onto the grass.
Okay, well, right there's the problem. He's turning the steering wheel and the front wheels weren't turning either way, so something's disconnected between the steering wheel and the rack there.
Well, she went right up into that outside wall. think that's where he got the damage to that right rear, and he kept it off the inside wall. Another look at it.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to, break a tire out or break those rack and pinions. Pretty fragile pieces in the front of these cars.
Woody's going to crawl out in a frustrating end to the season opener for Woody Pitkat. Looks like that'll be it for the Horton Ave Materials back number 82. Pit lane is open, though.
Let's see who we got any takers. Again, 1 tire per stop. Okay, Hirschman staying out.
Here comes Kobe. Doug Kobe will lead a couple of cars down pit road. We'll update you on who did what when we return to Myrtle Beach. Field all lined up side by side, ready for the second restart of the race. Hirschman has led every lap so far in that black 60 on the bottom. And the modifieds are roaring again at Myrtle Beach Speedway.
Okay, and as we went out there under caution route, we know that the 2 car of Kobe and the 1 car of Myers pitted, and they were up there in the thick of things. Let's see how fast they can move through with new right rears on.
Here comes the 6 machine up the inside. Jimmy Blewett driving that car today. He's just in front of Solomito. And Sapienza behind him in the 36, and we're on board with Solomito once again.
What a view. You don't get that half screen on watching the Cup races, Ralph.
No, you don't. And you can see how high that inside wall is from the driver's perspective when you're tucked down inside the cockpit of one of these modifieds.
You can, and you can also see the pieces of rubber or how it's wearing the tires out. They're actually caught up in there in that screen, and that's what happens all day long. Those things come up, they come off of somebody's tire, and they kind of hang on the screen there, pointing at you like a little spider all day.
Looks like McKennedy's working the outside lane here in the red 7. He's got 9th with Goodale on the inside in the 58. Sun's been in and out here too, Ray. You see moments of bright sunshine and then a little cloud cover.
Yeah, and of course on a slick track, that always makes a difference. When that sun comes out, it actually, if you can see the stones in there getting a little bit shinier. That's the way Darlington and Rockingham used to be down there in South Carolina. Well, they all had that aggregate, and when the sun came out, it would get really slick.
Gary Putnam's in the dark blue 77. Goodale's in the 58, and then you have the 75. Chris Pasteryak in this group here.
Pasteryak a little bit loose. Burt Myers pushing him along there, but great to see that 75 back on the tour. The Pasteryak family's been a part of it for years, so they were out for a while, but back on with Chris behind the wheel, and followed right there by Blake Barney, another 3rd-generation racer out of New Jersey. His grandfather, Dick Barney, many famous drivers drove that car, including Wally Dallenbach Sr.
Let's go down to pit lane and hear from Derek.
Well, guys, let's get acquainted with your leader, Matt Hirschman. He doesn't run the tour as often as he used to because he's been off racing modified races in various other series. They call him Money Matt for a reason. When the big money events come up, he ends up winning them. He is a champion of the ROC Modified Tour. He's a 5-time winner of the North-South Shootout. He's also a Tri-Track Series champion, and he comes from a pretty good pedigree because his dad, Tony Hirschman, is a 5-time Whelen Modified Tour champion.
Well, he is doing a great job up front. He has led all 67 laps so far.
As I said, Matt is really one of the smoothest drivers on the circuit, really great at saving those tires. But, like Darlington and Rockingham, when you can't beat fresh tires, and as we see Burt with that fresh right rear moving up through the field.
Getting close to the halfway point here. These two fighting over 6th. Solomito on the outside. On board with him, he's got Goodale just to the inside. They talked about the notes they had last year, Hirschman did. That race too, Ray, was at night, this one late in the afternoon. A little different?
Absolutely, Ralph. With the lights on at night, a little bit easier to get a hold of this racetrack, but when the sun starts shining down on those wore-out stones, it's a lot slicker.
Salamino trying to get around Myers in the 1. You know, you lose a title by just 6 points. You start thinking as the new season begins, you can't afford to not grab everything you can.
No, we've seen that over and over again on just about every one of the series that NASCAR ran last year. Every single point counts. And as I said, this kid, Salamito, is maturing, and he understands that if on the day that he doesn't have a car to win with, he's got to get the maximum points that he can. How about Gary Putnam? Hey, there's one of our veterans going up to battle for the lead.
Putnam getting inside, and he's well into the top 3. How will it play out here at Myrtle Beach? Stay with us for more on NBCSN. Welcome back to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour season opener for Myrtle Beach Speedway in South Carolina. Ralph Shaheen, Ray Evernham, and Derek Perniciglio with you. Matt Hirschman started on the pole today, but Woody Pitkat brought out an early caution as he made contact with the outside wall. Hirschman has been unbeatable so far, leading every lap, but we are under caution again for this spin here, following Chris Pasteryak, who has been pretty loose throughout the majority of the day, right?
Yeah, he was pretty loose right there and wouldn't give it up. He was fighting it pretty hard, and it snapped around the other way on him. He's lucky he didn't contact the outside wall.
Past the halfway point here into the final 50 or so laps, getting ready to go.
And look who's in second spot. Our 5-time champion, Doug Coby.
Bonsignor jumping out to the lead. Coby right there. You know, he finished 13th in this race a year ago, Ray, and won the championship by just 6. I'm sure he's thinking he needs a better finish here at the season opener.
Yeah, and again, that strategy, that tire strategy is still going to come down. I believe we're going to see 1 or 2 more pit stops before this is over. You know, right there, Coby's car not strong enough to hold off Burt Myers, and now Jimmy Blewett is on the inside of him.
You can see the man who dominated the majority of the early portions of this race, Matt Hirschman, deeper in the field now.
Well, Matt coming back from that pit stop, we'll see he's not had to really work his way through. He could set his pace and pick his line. Let's see how he negotiates through the traffic here.
We knew pit strategy would be a big part of the story here today. There he is back in 10th. He's got Craig Lutz in the 46 just in front of him. It's the red and black car. Andy Seiss is up there too in the 97.
Certainly a rhythm to this racetrack. We're seeing a lot of the guys who ran well here last year obviously running good today. And as we see Doug faded back, I think if we get another caution here, Doug's headed to the pit area. And again, you can change more than 1 tire under a caution. You just got to go out and back in. You can only change 1 at a time. Yeah, I'd be screaming for some tires, Ralph.
Yeah, Coby losing lots of ground. That's getting a little loose through here. You can see the 6 car really moving around Jimmy Blewett.
There's that pavement. You see that little strip of pavement right there. The 60 car of Hirschman putting his left side tires right on it.
One other thing that has changed here in the late stages of this race is the sky. We started in the afternoon and there was a lot of sunshine out, but now, Ray, looks like overcast skies and we're getting deeper into the afternoon.
And the guys are probably saying, what is going on with my car? You know, it's good for 5 laps, it's bad for 5 laps. That sun down there makes a huge difference, especially as those tires wear out. As I said, there's only 30 seconds of rubber on those tires. And Ralph, when it goes away quick. All of a sudden you think, I've broken something. You lose the grip in the back of one of those cars with all the horsepower they have. You know, as I said, in an instant you're thinking, man, this is here. But really, when those tires go off, they go off that fast.
Here's McKennedy in the 7.
Yeah, you look at Blewett, his right rear's probably worn out.
Let's go down trackside to Derek.
Nice to see Jimmy Blewett running near the front of the field. The Howell, New Jersey driver is running substitute this weekend for Ryan Preece, who's running the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at the Auto Club Speedway in California. Jimmy Blewett plans to do a partial machine.
Right now, wheeling that TS Holler back number 6.
That red, white, and blue 76 will be welcomed back on the circuit, again driven to many victories by his dad.
Of this race, pit strategy going to be a big part of it.
Pit strategy, Again, I'm still thinking the guys are going to come for tires if we get a caution here. But I'll tell you what, I'm watching that number 7 of Baldwin and McKennedy. You know, that car seems a lot softer, maybe in the front than some of the other cars, and that definitely helps the tire wear. Again, something Tommy Baldwin may have learned from playing with his Cup cars. Watch the nose of that number 7 drop. Right down on the ground.
Right behind Summers. Following Hirsch. A lot of time tucked behind the rear deck of the 60 of Hirschman. But now Justin Bonsignor in the Phoenix Communications machine looking pretty solid.
And it's good to be out front, even on a small track. You know, you can talk about clean air, but it's got as much to do with rhythm. You can get on and off the gas and steer where you want. And that helps save your tires, too. We see Burt just get a little bit sideways there. Craig loves shoves him out of the way a touch, but just that one bit of sideways can take several laps of wear away from your tire.
Craig moves on past. We got a new car in second place. Andy Seiss having a pretty good run. Derek, he's sitting back in fourth place right now.
Well, it's not a bad run for Andy Seiss, who finished third in this race last year. This year he's driving for a new team that's in 2009.
Trying to find a way maybe on the outside, but he better not go too high because here comes Hirschman. Oh, and a caution.
Wow. Ken Hagee there with a problem. He's been in contact with. Oh, the back of another car and the wall.
Looks like he got into the 6 of Jimmy Blewett. Well, pit road's going to be real busy right now, and covering all the action for us down there, including that of the race leader. Here's Derek.
Guys, this could be the most important round of pit stops in the entire race. The leaders are in. Doug Coby, Justin Bonsignor, Matt Hirschman, Eric Goodale, all the guys that were running in the top 10. They're putting on that one last tire, and they're putting it on the right rear. They want to get as much drive off the corner at this racetrack as they can because traction is so limited out there.
Bonsignor finished third in the points last year, didn't get a win. He's got a great shot.
Didn't pit have an extra tire. Let's see if they go to the left rear.
We'll have the race to the checker flag when we return. G will work best here in the final stages at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Season opener for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. About to go back to green with some 25 laps remaining.
Well, no saving tires now. These guys are going to run hard. And we've got a couple of guys up here in the front that have not won in this series yet, so they're going to be tough to get by. We've got some guys a little bit behind them that've got a little pressure tire. But you've got John McKennedy right there. Not a winner on this tour yet, even though he's won several other races.
Craig Lutz in the 46 looking for a victory here today. He leads it. And he's got the 15 of Chase Dowling right there behind him. Here comes McKennedy up into third. Hirschman trying to bump and bang his way back to the front where he spent so much time early on this afternoon. Sapienza getting by the 97 machine of Andy Seiss. Hirschman will follow.
Let's see if McKennedy has got anything for these guys. Blewett and Blake Barney side by side through the corner there. Both. Blake Barney doing a great job for a young rookie.
Look at Dowling to the inside. There's a new leader.
There's another young man we've seen come up through the ranks. This is a guy that can get the job done. He's picking them off one by one. He's got 19 laps to go. Can he get to the front before he wears out his tires?
Hirschman right here in fourth. See how much of that veteran experience at this racetrack that he talked about at the open of the show he's got left.
And a familiar name, Sapienza, right there in fifth spot, doing a great job today.
And McKennedy has moved into second. That 7 car looking really good. Oh, look at this to the bottom. Here comes Blewett in the 6. He's going to get inside of Sapienza. And Hirschman goes to work on Lutz. If he can clear him, that'll put him in 3rd.
Yeah, and how fast Hirschman clears Lutz is going to have a determining factor on how fast Blewett can get up there to see if he can challenge. Well, they're both clear now. Clear running.
Sapienza will work past Lutz as well, and Lutz's car that led at the drop of the green sees his hopes of a win vanishing quickly. Boy, this is going to be a good fight to the finish in the final 15 laps.
It sure is, Ralph. We see the chunks of rubber flying off those tires. They're using them up for sure.
Bonsignor in the 51. Don't know if he has anything here. He's going to clear Summers. Lutz will be next.
Just about 13 laps to go, and as you see, as I said, when those right rear tires go off of these cars, they go off fast.
Traffic here too.
Yeah, McKennedy putting the pressure on Chase Dowling, but he's got a mirror full of 2 of the fastest cars on the track right now. Take some life away from that tire. Jimmy Blewett nice and smooth there behind him.
To the inside. Look at this. McKennedy. And Blewett gets inside of Hirschman. New leader. And look at Blewett shoving his way past, going for 2nd place.
Oh, sideways right there. That might put some temperature in that tire, but that's what they say, Robbins racing. This is what I love about these modifieds, Ralph.
Dowling not giving up on the outside in the 15, and Hirschman claws his way back into the fray.
Got to try and drive that thing straight now, not put any more heat in that right rear tire and see if it cools off. He still got ran in the World Series down there at New Smyrna while we were in Daytona. So the 6 driven by Ryan Preece at that time, but McKennedy, a big winner down there at New Smyrna.
Those 2 cars run 1 and 2, and then Hirschman in the 60 led.
Pulling away from Blewett in the 6 right now, Ralph.
What's interesting, too, is that some of those that thought they'd be championship contenders like Solomito and Kobe just inside of the top 15, not even contending for the win here today. He's looking to improve on that this year. He's having a pretty good run. He's much further up. He's in 5th. Good point state for him. McKennedy looking to have an outstanding start to the year. 5 laps away from the first victory of 2018.
Well, his car has been good when it needed to be. You know, he wasn't really flashy the whole race long. Hung around there in the top 5. Was kind of quiet, but boy, out in front, that thing looks really strong. Pulls off the corner and just drives away from the 6 of Jimmy Blewett. Jimmy's riding in pretty hard to catch him, but if you watch the 7 accelerate up off. Back to black.
Laps ticking away. Even with the traffic, McKennedy able to move to the outside, and boy, if he's not extending his lead, he's certainly holding it right now. The last thing he wants is a caution right now. Taking the victory last year, and McKennedy trying to grab the glory here today.
Tommy done a great job through the years as a modified owner, Cup owner, Xfinity truck, you name it. Tommy's worked hard in racing.
Daytona 500 winning crew chief, and now owner and crew chief of the season opening winner here at Myrtle Beach Speedway as John McKennedy takes the checkered flag. Well, that is a great way to start the year. Great pit strategy and a solid race car puts McKennedy, Baldwin, in the 7 and Y in victory lane.